Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ROCCAT StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void Championships. I'm Nathaniel, with me is the Muslim. We've got Snoot and Apollo. We're pretty much ready to get straight away into this game, so as soon as we can, I'm just going to throw it over to you guys, and we'll get right into HuK versus SortOf.
Well, thank you for passing the baton over, Nathaniel. We're excited to bring you some action. And I heard the game has already begun because we had to keep the schedule going to keep the tournament on time. So we can jump in to map number 1. It's already begun. So we'll have to find out where exactly we are very shortly. As here we are. Oh, look, they're even waiting for us.
Well, that's fairly early.
But it's
I
1
can already
minute
tell
and 28
this is going to be a little bit
seconds.
crazy.
Ruins of Ceres is the first map here. We'll introduce these players in a second as they do get the game underway. Dennis, you might piping down over there. Bring me a water. There's... Okay, I think there is a problem. So I'm not sure what's going on, but we'll let you know. Did you catch anything that they said that was...
No, I missed it. It went too
All
fast.
I heard was pause and then back
Yeah,
out.
the game was paused for some reason. I'm not sure if they were able to resume it. We'll see.
Okay.
Just a little bit of technical difficulties, but I did catch a glimpse of what was going on in this game.
What was going on in Ruins of Ceres in this first map between these two?
Alright, so Ruins of Ceres is a very big map, you know?
It is.
It's
Full-player
easy to
big
secure
map.
more bases, but at the same time, if you're not comfortable taking it to a long game, then you might be inclined to cheese, and that's what we saw from the Zerg here. So one base speedling.
Do you like to cheese?
I'm not so sure. I mean, against Protoss, do you have to cheese? I'm not so sure.
All right, so we're going to go back into the game now. Here we are. And
There
you
we
see the
go.
one base speed link build up here. On the top left-hand side is SortOf. We'll do some very fast player introductions for you, as
There's the
action is
inject.
already underway. As you can see.
Yeah,
here on the
already
right
putting
side.
pressure on here. This Nexus is most likely going to be forfeit. If you try to protect this, I feel like the Protoss is always going to lose such as possible. HuK already under a lot of pressure here. And there's no wall off at the top of the ramp, which is very surprising. I feel like at this rate, HuK is going to be in so much trouble if it doesn't wall off.
An adept coming out.
But none of the pylons are going to finish, so this Nexus, surely it has to be forfeit. Or is it going to keep building pylons?
There's a lot more Zerglings on the way here. One pylon is going to go down instantly, the other one's going to get taken down too, so 2 grabs there, but a lot of the Zerglings have gone down. But there's more to come.
Reinforcements. Let's see how this goes though.
What does HuK have to do here? He's got another adept about to come out. Is he going to hold?
Might be, might be. It's a little bit of an unusual approach, just trying to spam pylons in the long run, but as you can see, the adept gets caught. And the danger of doing this, and I feel like maybe SortOf is not capitalizing on this, but you could just run straight into the main like this.
Yeah, 3 Zerglings.
Then it could be harassing the probe line. You would force the adepts to be in the main, and the mothership core, you know, will have to be stuck in a natural. So you could just kind of switch places with the links. You don't have to be in the natural if there's too many defenses there. You can go in between the natural and the main. But now HuK does have the wall off up, so it's going to be very difficult for SortOf to actually do something here.
Yeah, it took a lot of damage though. There's only 4 of these guys left, and HuK cuts the wall up.
Yeah. Very nice defense from HuK. I didn't realize it was going to go
Only
this
lost 1
smoothly.
worker here after all of that. A big investment and a 10 supply lead.
Oh, the
here for
overload
HuK.
goes down as well to the pylon.
SortOf. In a bit of trouble here. And what I mean, in a recovery mode, I imagine from SortOf's perspective, you just have to keep on building a lot of drones, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's the only choice. The only thing you can do pretty much from here is to make more drones, take more bases, and continue your tech route. Work towards those Ravagers. Just keep going. HuK going for the robotics though. He's probably going to go for some War Prism. I've been tuning into his stream quite a bit, watching him play PvC, and he's really fond of those new upgraded War Prisms.
Yeah? You could beat him though. I know you could.
Not so sure.
I know you can. There's the Roach Warren, and we know what comes from the Roach Warren is Roaches, and then more importantly, it's the Ravagers. And hopefully get to see some of them. But first of all, 2 adepts going to come to the other side of the map here to put a bit of pressure on to begin with.
Yeah, and this is going to cut into SortOf's droning even more. He's already at 27 to 35 workers, and that's not a good spot to be in a Zerg. HuK doesn't really commit with these adepts though. He sees how late the third is.
Yeah.
So at that point, you kind of... I guess he's being a bit conservative with it and rather save the adepts. Because the third is so late, he already knows that he's so far ahead, so it's better to just wait for the Prism and continue the harassment once the Prism is out.
Yeah, it's on its way now. Forge behind this as well as HuK looks to establish eventually a 3rd base, you'd imagine. But here we go. There's 3 of these bad boys out now. Controlling the middle Xel'Naga towers. A few Zerglings, but not enough. And they're obviously going to have to run away for now. And 3 Roaches, I would imagine, to help for protection purposes here.
Oh,
against the
sentries. This is
Invincible.
very unusual. We don't usually see a whole lot of sentry usage against Zerg, so we might see some old school force field on the ramp, I think. Could be.
Well, 35 drones to 43 workers here for HuK. SortOf in a bit of trouble after his dangerous and very risky opening. But here we go. Warp Prism has 4 sentries. Where is he
One of them
targeting?
goes down though. Didn't really accomplish a whole lot. And would expect to see some roaches be morphed into Ravagers here shortly. And sort of under quite a bit of pressure.
All right, so sentries in that Warp Prism. 4 Adepts going forward here. Where is HuK aiming for? He's going towards the main base in that ramp.
We're gonna see the force field on the ramp. But if you don't have a Ravager, this is still a very strong move.
And here comes an additional warp in. 3 Stalkers this time. He's got to morph for Ravager, otherwise this is going to be there for
There's
days.
the Ravager,
There is one.
but you can always drop a new force field, and that's what he does.
And
And you need a lot of Ravagers to actually be able to break this force field multiple times. The
Yeah.
cooldown on the shot is 7 seconds, so now you see just another force field that sort of is completely locked out of his own main base. A horrible spot to be in.
And this is a disaster for SortOf. Kind of comes down to his opening build order, unfortunately. And now he's paying the price. He's got 24 links on the way, which is great. But he's taken so much worker damage. He's down to 26 workers, sadly. And he can't get inside this main base. He's just going to call it GG. Tasteless.
GG.
1-0 for our dear friend. And a good start for him.
Just a very nice defense by HuK, I think. Lesser players might have lost their natural. They might have lost workers in the main, but HuK just split everything perfectly. And he dropped multiple pylons at the same time. And I cannot stress how important it actually is to do that. Because the Zerglings, they deal a lot of damage, but if there's multiple pylons warping in, then you can cancel one of them. Or just having all of these targets go up at once, you can't possibly defeat all of them. So a very good crisis management.
The new pylons,
there.
Man.
Yeah, they're pretty strong.
They're pretty good.
They deal a lot of damage versus Lynx.
I don't know if you're probably traveling, but in the Nation Wars, there was a couple of pylon rushes against Terran.
I heard about
saw
this.
That was pretty funny.
Wasn't it Boombox?
It was the UK player,
legend.
Man. Bringing out the UK strategies. That's what we're known for. These type of cheesy players, man. We've got the Muslim and Bling, right? Like 2 cheesiest players ever. Going to be getting ready for map number 2. It's just happening around the corner. If you're just tuning in now, welcome to the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship here at DreamHack Winter. Joined by Mini-Me here, Snoot. Hello, mate. Good to be on the casting side of things.
Yeah.
I know, unfortunately, you weren't quite ready to qualify for this tournament. The qualifier's a long time ago now, right?
It's quite a while. A month, maybe?
3-4 weeks ago?
Yeah, about a month, I believe.
Who eliminated you? Which player?
SortOf. Yeah, I lost to
bet
SortOf.
this is great to watch.
No.
You're losing. You knocked me out.
No PJ salt. No salt.
No.
It's fine.
I hope that the winner of this tournament, you know what I'm going to do? The winner of this tournament, I'm going to speak to them and I'm going to force them, maybe not at this event, I'm going to force them to play you in a best of 5. So you could technically win 2 championships out of 2.
I'm not sure that's how it works, Sean.
It is in my world.
All right.
You challenge the winner of this, and if he loses to you, you technically won this tournament too.
So if I lose this match, do I lose my championship?
I mean, you never got the DreamHack. Yeah. Basically, I'm going to fast forward you to the super finals, which is after the grand finals,
right,
and that's where you get to play.
Makes perfect sense.
In my world, everything makes sense, Snoot.
Absolutely.
Even
gold bases.
Gold bases is the best part. Talking about gold bases leads us into our next map, Prion Terraces.
And this is SortOf's choice this time around. So this should be a map that he is maybe a bit more comfortable on.
Have you played a lot on this map against Protoss?
Yeah. You know, you only have that many vetoes, and Protoss seem to actually be okay with having this map. I mean, it's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
You can only veto so many maps, but still, I've had a few games. Sometimes even the Protoss player has been taking the gold bases.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just aggressive builds all day, every day.
Yeah.
Proxy gateways.
So both players can play aggressive then, would you say?
I think it's more on the Protoss player to be aggressive here.
Does he take the gold base pretty fast and use the heightened economy then, or? Isn't that really difficult to play? It's
very technical. It's so easy to lose to something like a Ravager cheese if you try to take the gold. So it's a massive risk.
Okay, well here we are into map number 2, and the barcode, if you're just tuning in, is HuK. But up here to the top left-hand side, it is SortOf, and here he is, the mechanical Swedish god himself, Snoot. And he goes up against down here to the bottom right-hand side, currently up 1-0. It is HuK. from Team Evil Geniuses for a very, very long time
Wow.
now. Here he is.
Seems really confident, even showing off to the camera there. Yeah, I've been tuning into his streams. I'm trying to see how it is from the Proto side of things, and he always seems very confident when he plays. And going up 1-0, I think he should be in a really good spot right now.
I mean, aside from you, let's call you are the most successful Legacy of the Void player currently after your championship last week. First place, congratulations.
Thank you.
I did tweet you, but I'm going to say it now too. Did you read my tweet?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did.
mate.
Thank you.
It makes me feel special. As it makes everyone feel special when you read their tweets. But okay, so aside from you, HuK is definitely one of also the most successful players in Legacy. He's played a lot of tournaments, Red Bull, played at BlizzCon as well.
Yeah, and HuK is also very close with MC, I believe. So MC, one of the most, I don't know how to say this, he's won the most prize money, right? I believe in StarCraft 2, a very successful player, and they teamed up for Archon mode. Did very well in that, winning the show match at BlizzCon.
I don't know who they played against, but...
And the Red Bull tournament as well. Very nice expansion delaying here from SortOf though, but Nexus does go down.
So what do you think about the two builds here? So you've got your Gateway expansion from HuK, but you've got 3 Hatch, Gas, and Pool coming out from SortOf.
Yeah, it's incredibly greedy from SortOf. Like, this would have lost to Proxy Gateway, for example, but it's an incredibly strong build for this map. It makes perfect sense. You want to get to those... you want to get to the high drone count as soon as possible. You want to utilize the gold base. I'm a little bit surprised that SortOf didn't go for the, other gold base down to the bottom left here.
Yeah.
This is also a choice. You can go for, triple hatch before pool and take both gold bases. But this is also, it's a bit more conservative, so it's not the most greedy opening there is, but it's still incredibly strong and it's very solid.
HuK decided to chrono boost out a single Adept and getting down the robotics facility immediately after that Gateway was placed, and now a second one. We'll see where he decides to go.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. He's probably going to go for the War Prism again. The question is, though, is he going to use the sentries again, or is it going to be something else?
Well, he knows the type of threat playing against this gold base is. Obviously a heightened economy, less drones needed here for SortOf to get that income going, but the War Prism is a choice from him. We'll see that very shortly as the first Adept pokes forward. There are a few Zerglings here to push this back.
Only 6 though, so catching this Adept is going to be impossible until speed is complete, so the Adept will get away, even getting a few kills there. Only 1 Zergling kill. But still, sees what's going on, lots of links having been invested into, and that's not drones. So HuK already dealing a little bit of damage to SortOf's economy.
And chrono boosting into that Warp Gate research as well, so he's definitely looking to play a very similar game to previous, and it was kind of successful, but the Evolution Chamber gets dropped here for SortOf.
Could be
Instead
that,
of a Roach Warren early on.
Could be that melee link style, like getting lots of links, so you can maybe later go into some sort of Mutalisk mid-game. Like, it could be anything. Just 1 sentry this time, though. It could be that HuK is actually going to play transitional and, keep macroing, just kind of freak SortOf out. I think that's what's going to happen here.
All right, well.
But 2 more gateways going down, so we'll see. It is scouted, though.
SortOf has a look inside the main base. The pylon overcharge, the mothership photon overcharge onto the pylon. Here comes a couple of extra sentries, so 3 in total.
That's a lot of gas going into sentries. He could have been making the robotics baying go for the disruptor drop. Like, there's a lot of options here.
SortOf sees it. He sees it, but
gotta
he's
move the links. This happened to you just now in the last game.
No, not again. The force field lands.
Oh my god, it's like Heart of the Swarm all over again. Zergs all across the globe lost to this build, losing to the 1 force field on the ramp. And here, Legacy of the Void
has only just finished, which means the first Roaches are on the way, and then he's got to morph the Ravagers.
And he only has 1 mining gas right now. He's not mining from the gas in the main because there's Adepts blocking it and just causing trouble.
Oh, and a couple of extra sentries get walked in. This is a...
this is a disaster.
It is a disaster. I was going to go there, but I'm happy you did instead. It's a disaster. It's the start of the first tournament for SortOf in Legacy of the Void. He goes up against HuK in match number 1, and he's getting force field rush to his ramp. Luckily gets
this
inside
is 1 force
here.
field, though, so SortOf is going to stay alive for now, and that's a very good thing for him.
But he's down to 29 workers, though.
Absolutely.
He stays alive, which is good, but he's not in the best of shape, obviously.
But also keep in mind, there's a gold base here, and that's... it's pretty important. It mines a lot faster, so even if you have less workers, they're still mining on that gold.
And HuK keeps up the harassment, though. He's got 2 Adepts chasing on the natural, getting as many drones as he can, and even the Warp Prism floating around still. 15 workers have been killed here by HuK. A success, no doubt here. Yen's Asgard.
I would say so. It's looking good. But on the flip side, HuK is floating a lot of minerals. There you go. There, the gold base going down. Very good move. It's going to make sure that he has a little bit more of a long-term plan. The main, you know, in Legacy of the Void, the main is going to run out relatively soon, so having that gold base to fall back on will allow HuK to continue mining with more efficiency without actually having to construct even more probes.
Okay, so SortOf has taken quite a bit of damage. He knows HuK's taken the third base. What do you do now? If this was you, what would you do? How would you win this game?
Right now, still feeling a little bit down, I believe. I would just poke with these Zerglings, take this gold base, and just keep making more drones, keep getting my technology, try to figure out what my opponent is doing. See, very good, very diligent scouting here from SortOf.
God, it's like this
and then
is a
just
replay.
try to stay a little bit passive and at the same time make sure that HuK stays in his base.
Oh, but this threat of the Warp Prism on the other side of the map, loaded with 4 Adepts.
Yeah, HuK is a very active player, multitasking-wise. Always has the prisms flying around. I wouldn't be surprised to even see maybe some proxy pylons going down on the left-hand side below the gold base.
Wow.
There's always possibilities for that.
He's not going to see this until kind of late here in his units. Not too far away, though. They're already on the second base, so he's going to get inside, and he should be okay here.
But these Adepts are going to take a few free trades here against the Zerglings. Nice micro there by HuK, just saving all the Adepts, letting the shields regenerate, and even more Warp-ins.
Oh, he's got
forcing SortOf
now
to go for a little bit more of a heavy response here.
And he's dealing with it okay. He's dealing with it okay. He is not getting to where he wants in drones, I would imagine. Still relatively low, but as you said, it is on gold bases.
And here we see the Ravagers on the way. Looking nice, looking nice.
Semler the Riot, of all people, coming over to say hi with his orange shirt. I love you too, big man. Semler the Riot, man. Gone with the days of the good studio. Rip. All right, so HuK, though, keeping up his harassment with this Warp Prism. He's aiming towards this third base again.
And finally, the robotics bay going down. We need to see the Disruptor here on the field. There's not really a whole lot of the gateway units that fare well against the Ravagers.
Yeah, and he's going to continue to lift these. Good harassment here by HuK. SortOf starting to, I mean, what's it?
This Warping is dangerous, though. If SortOf was paying attention, he could fire shots on this Warp Prism and actually take it down. But no reaction just yet. Will HuK be able to escape with it, though? Yeah.
You know,
too late.
Was you, though.
A little too slow there,
That
but it happens. Oh. Some Adept Shades. These are just going to get thrown away. Not the best move there.
I mean, I wonder what's HuK's main army looking. I mean, we haven't really looked at it in a while now.
Yeah, lots of Sentries, Immortals. And the core unit of the Protoss, I would say, in Legacy of the Void, the Disruptor, is now in production. So
they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be the core unit to work with here. And the other units are more to protect the main army, protect the Disruptors. But only one robot, though. I've seen a lot of players actually use double robotics to chain out these Disruptors at a very high rate, but we don't see that just yet.
I mean, how would you rate how SortOf's done here? He's looking okay now.
The gold bases, man, like he's catching up. Only having 66 workers, and he's still, look at the supply, it's like, it's massive. And a lot of the supply is in Zerglings as well. Upgraded Zerglings, heavily upgraded Zerglings.
And now the Ultralisk Cavern close to finishing up too. HuK has a look inside this main base. The Hallucinated Phoenix is going to see the Ultralisk Cavern. Yeah,
so I would say this is a beautiful recovery, but then again, HuK put on some pressure, but he never actually moved out with his main army. So I think even if it's kind of scary looking from the Zerg, I think actually HuK is very comfortable playing like this on this map.
Well, +3 melee attacks now started for Zerglings and Ultralisks. We'll see how well that's going to come into play, but Disruptors can be game changers. They can really swing the fight.
That's actually more roaches than I thought. So SortOf supply is kind of deceptive. I didn't realize how many roaches there were. This is so the army from SortOf is not all that strong. We'll see. It all depends on how you use it.
A bit of a feel out here. HuK has this easily taken base in the center of the map, which cannot be touched here from Zerg for now. And nice move there by HuK. Sends the Disruptor Ball, or as I call it, Nation Rules, the Desruptable. Never kept on using them. An awesome move there. Catches a lot of these Zerglings. The rest are going to be cleaned up by these Adepts. And SortOf trying to find a hole, find a weakness in HuK. But he runs into a lot of units on this right-hand side, or left-hand side, should I say.
Yeah.
He can't find anything here, Jens.
I think SortOf's economy is not at a stage just yet where it's fine to throw away these roaches. I think if HuK managed to catch all of these roaches off guard, he would immediately really start testing the water, start clearing creep, and maybe even go for a big counterattack. But until then, it's just a standoff, and I think HuK is actually very fine with how the game is right now. I think he wants to max out,
And
get a
then
lot of
fight.
disruptors, and then take big fights. And now we see it. Now it's happening. He's losing all the roaches.
That's a lot of supply going to go down the loo, as you say in England. Take him down there, and that's an easy say, okay, now time to move out and finish you off. There's going to be a
Small
counter-attack,
counter-attack.
though, from SortOf.
This is going to buy him some time, but at the same time, action going on everywhere. Warp is in the main.
Warp isn't being used in the main here. Good warp in, but that army's looking pretty beefy, pretty scary now from HuK, who's looking to close this one out in this best of 3. Disruptor trying to use its power, but unfortunately couldn't get in contact with the Zerg army. This is a lot here from HuK. The engagement's going to take place. The Zerglings are doing quite a bit of damage at the front, but overall there is way too much Protoss.
Looks
And
a
HuK
bit like
continues
it.
to push forwards.
Very
And
nice
inside the
engagement
main
there.
as well.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the upgrades for a bit. The +3 attack is still not done, so I expected these Zerglings to be more powerful. But the Adepts, as long as the Adepts are at the field, the Adepts really just make mincemeat out of the Zerglings.
They do, and there's a couple of Ultralists still left over to try and fight against what HuK has left, but there's only 2 or 3 of them, and there
But these
seems to
Ultras
be
have the
too
kindness
many.
plating though. Like, these Ultras are insanely beefy, and there's only 2 Immortals in the back. If those Immortals fall,
Well, the 2 Ultralists go down. There's 1 left on the flank. A couple of good corrosive vials there. And SortOf is going to push HuK back.
wow, wow, insane defense there by SortOf. Those Ravagers put in some work. If those Immortals had stayed alive, yeah, it's completely
DTs
different.
though. DTs. Inside the main base being a bit of a nuisance.
So both players just kind of throwing units at each other here. So we'll have to see. You know, HuK is still mining off of his bases. He still has
Yeah.
gold patches left. Not a whole lot though, but he does also have patches in his natural, I believe, and he has this fresh 4th base in the middle. So economy-wise, they're both doing pretty fine, but SortOf lost his gold base on the left-hand side, so he might have to want to retake that, you know, if he wants to have that gold boost economy.
What do you think about this Great Aspire? I mean, that's where he's decided to go to next. He doesn't have that much money, but
It's a powerful choice, but in this low economy situation, then again, I'm not so sure. Like, it's very easy to counter Broodlords by having Blink Stalkers, for
Yeah.
example, and HuK already has like a core army of Disruptors, Immortals, Stalkers. He has a very comfortable army.
yeah, I can't help but feel that SortOf Ling run by helped him so much. It killed a lot of workers.
Yeah. This DT harass from HuK also is doing much more than I would expect it to at this stage. Wow, look at this.
Oh.
This is massive. If this hatchery is sniped, then SortOf is essentially going to be down to 1.5 base economy, maybe.
I mean, he's going to take out the
This is not a
detection
good spot
here.
to
And
be
there's,
in.
there's the 4 DTs coming here. And
Wow.
a big whoop inside the main base. Jesus, HuK is throwing all resources in the harassment to finish off the leftover economy which SortOf has.
Crazy multitasking here from HuK. Like, this is what we know him for. He loves to harass you. He loves to be in your face, just hitting everywhere. And if you cannot keep up with HuK's speed, you're going to lose like this.
Well, he's dealing okay with it, though. He dealt with it on this 3rd base out in the middle where that gold is. He's dealt with it inside his main base. He's still got his base in the far top alive. And he's about to pick off all these DTs before the hatchery gets sniped as well.
Nice save there. So if the danger here for HuK is that if he keeps overextending and if he keeps throwing away units for nothing, then eventually it's going to go back into SortOf's favor. But I still believe that HuK has the edge here, especially if he manages to secure the gold base on the right-hand side, which he is about to do very shortly, I believe.
Well, 3 DTs coming in here. The Spore Crawler's almost finished for detection.
Gets the Queen Snipe, that's...
And a push through the middle as well here from HuK. Just Stalkers for now, clearing up some of this creep. 3 Broodlords have joined with the Ultralists and Zerglings now.
That's a lot of Blink Stalkers. I don't think the Blink Stalkers is the way to go here. I feel like what you want at this stage as Protoss is probably to get as many robotics units as possible. Get the Disruptors, get the Immortals especially. I'm not sure if having this many Stalkers is the right choice at this moment, but we'll see.
SortOf just trying to feel out this game a little bit. Zerglings down to the south, seeing if that's where HuK is expanded. It is not. It is on the right-hand side, and here we go. SortOf gathering his forces in the middle.
Yeah, I think the way that HuK is playing this, I think it's very good that he's being so patient. Like, he's always doing this harass, he's always doing this kind of scary move outs, but essentially he's just taking, with the harassment, he's taking favorable fights where he can, and, you know, he's just picking off units for free.
Woo! Good grab there, good blink, and Takes almost all of those Zerglings down, but gold is almost done.
And with the style that SortOf is playing, those links are actually, they are incredibly important. Those are not Heart of the Swarm links that you can just throw away while you make some gas units. No, these Zerglings are a very important part of the army, and right now, the Zergling buffer is just decreasing.
And HuK knows that this base up here is so important to SortOf. HuK positions up to the north.
Might be a bit too soon though, the Vipers are here, and if he gets caught in all these Broodlords, all the fire, then...
Very careful, one bad fight for either side will be the game decided.
Going
HuK decides to go for the snipe, but he takes down the hatchery. A big blow there for SortOf, as HuK will return back to his gold base with his Stalkers, but that's a good pick-off. And it looks like here SortOf, in retaliation, moving forward, cannot catch the Stalkers. Now his economy is in shatters. He's got a little bit of money left here, but as you can see, the income difference heavily in favor of HuK. That was a great snipe.
But both players are being so incredibly patient. I mean, if SortOf was a little bit more tilted, he would have immediately gone for the counterattack and probably lose the game, but instead he's being very patient, and I think that's a very correct move. Just, it's better to have the game drag on than lose it straight away. So a good call by SortOf.
He tries to wrap himself around this Nexus. The upgrades on these Zerglings are very, very good.
Adrenal Glands putting in so much work with the increased attack speed.
Not good enough though, so he throws a lot of those Zerglings away in an attempt to destroy that Nexus. It is not complete, but look at this army here. This is absolutely incredible from HuK.
So many Archons at the front.
Great blinding clouds though, coming out from the Vipers, really destroying this kind of Protoss army. But at the end of the day, that is a lot of Protoss remaining. Ultralists are not good enough against all these Immortals. And
yeah, this time around, the Immortals did not get sniped by the Ravagers, so HuK takes a very convincing fight there. A great closer from all the successful harassment leading up to this.
2-0 for HuK.
Making it look easy. We were talking about how Zerg was so strong versus Protoss, but here we see many ways to just make it happen. War Prism in the main, force fielding the ramp, continuing with the cheeky harassment. Just a very solid game from start to finish.
Yeah, great game one, and I mean an easy game one, and then an even better game two there. Really back and forth, really fun, really entertaining. And
yeah, the first game was a little bit of a build or a loss kind of. Well, still, HuK defended amazingly, but the second game was far more equal from the start. So.
Yeah, we are joined on the desk now by Nathanius and to Muslim. Hello, boys. Welcome back to the desk. An entertaining series, more so the second game than the first one.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there? I heard you talking to...
It was close.
Hashtag passion is restored, Semel of the Riot.
Came over to donate some passion to me, and you know, of course, always welcome. But you know, it was just funny watching those fights because I kind of already getting like that glimpse of like what Legacy of the Void is about, and you have like those big trades where he makes that push on the west side gold base, and you're like, okay, HuK has a much bigger army. Like this looks pretty good for him, and then he lands those corrosive vials on the Immortals. Those Ultralisks are so tough to break through. It was good. It was very back and forth.
Great start for HuK in the group as well, right?
Yeah.
Really good start, because SortOf's possibly one of the contenders for top 3 as well. In fact, he is one of the contenders for sure for top 3. So taking him out in the first match, very important match. But I am very surprised. Like, the first map, when a Warp Prism happens, sometimes it can be like, damn, like, that was just out of my thought zone, especially in a brand new game like Legacy of the Void. But the fact that he kind of saw the Warp Prism heading to his ramp again in the second game, and his Lynx just sat there at the third base, that was very surprising for me.
Yeah.
All right, well, we will be going to the winners interview very shortly here, who are excited to. I think they're ready for it. I think so. Smix is hanging around in the players area.
Yeah.
I think she's ready, so I guess we'll hand it over to her and hear some more thoughts from you in a minute, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're here for.
Let us hear what the winner of that match has to say. Go over and over to HuK and Smix.
Thank you very much, Nathanius. Congratulations, HuK. It's always a great feeling to start off the day with a win, and with a win against SortOf. The analysts were actually talking prior to the game about how they've been really impressed with SortOf lately. So prior to that match, how did you feel going into it?
I felt pretty good, despite what TL writers wrote. I think it's a bunch of bullshit that they wrote that I'm not good in Legacy of the Void or I haven't proven myself. I feel like I was one of the strongest players in Nation Wars. So, I don't know. I feel pretty good here. It's pretty cold. Other than that, I think I'll do really well. I'm hoping to get top 8 or top 4.
And let's talk about that TL article, because I saw that you tweeted the little paragraph that was written about you. When you see things like that, obviously it is tilting as a player to read comments like that, but does it drive you to try to prove them wrong? Like, what is your perspective as a player?
Well, from my perspective, I don't let it affect me. I think it's pretty funny. Like, I'm all for banter and like having fun, so I think it's comedical at best. I mean, nothing's going to change. My preparation has been the last few months, not, you know, today. So I just think it's funny, and obviously those writers have no idea what they're talking about, which is, you know, hit and miss with TL writers sometimes, so it's not unexpected.
Okay, well, let's jump into talking about the games. Game 1 was very, very dominant, straightforward. Game 2 was a little bit of a more back and forth game. You were very dominant throughout the whole, all of Game 2, but let's go and break it down a little bit, because there were a few moments where SortOf had that Ling run by, and it seemed like maybe he had a chance to come back, but how is it from your perspective?
Yeah, he definitely did a lot of damage. Zerglings and Legacy of the Void Cracklings, they're pretty good. He's a great player. He's been around on the scene for a long time. I felt pretty good the whole game. I thought I had a pretty big lead. I kind of botched the Warp Prism at the beginning. I feel like I could have closed the game out that early. But all in all, right now, this early in the tournament, it's just about feel, and I feel pretty good. So, you know, I'm looking at it from a positive light. You can't really complain about 2-0.
And in your group, we have 4 Protoss, including yourself, and 2 Zerg players. How do you feel about the players that are in your group? Of course, we have players like Parting, we have Showtime, and you just played one of the Zerg players, and the other one is Bly. So is there a player out of those that you're kind of, I guess, I don't want to use the word intimidated, but like not looking forward to playing?
Yeah, I mean, Parting obviously is the best player. I kind of looked at Parting as like a free loss. I looked at Probe as a free win, but apparently Probe took a game off of Parting. So I'm not really sure. Parting's kind of a fuckboy, but he's a party animal, so it'll be cool to play against him. And then the other players, I don't know, like a lot of Europeans have been talking shit, saying that North America didn't even deserve 2 slots for the qualifier, which I think is BS. So I hope to prove a lot of Europeans wrong and, you know, return to my former glory. Not only for Canada, but North America and the West in general. I feel like we haven't had a strong foreign hope in a while, and I want to be that.
All right, well, thank you very much, Chris. You used up so much of our curse word quotas for this day, but you keep it real as always. So best of luck in your future matches. We are going to cut to a commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have a match of Group B. It'll be Solar, the 2-time DreamHack champion, going up against the 19-year-old Terran from Canada, Semper, so stay tuned.